So what is a power plate and what does it do?
Okay, power plate, I think it's easier if we go back and find out how it was developed and what it was developed for. Russians developed it for cosmonauts going into space. As we all know, there's no weight in space. So the machine was actually developed to simulate the pull of gravity, or the force of gravity, which is what we're really after. And we have to understand the force of gravity is measured by two forces, mass and acceleration. So these are actually acceleration machines. In space, obviously, we don't have mass, so they turn to acceleration. When they did that, they found out that acceleration is actually about 3 times more effective in building lean body mass and bone density. So the machines were used for cosmonauts and very successfully. So we use them here for the same purpose. It builds lean body mass. The nice thing about it is it also improves your circulation, increases your hormone level, and there's no compression in your joints, which is a big advantage, especially for people that don't need compression on their joints. Young athletes can take that compression over people. Obviously, it's very uncomfortable for them and it's unnecessary.
So can the power plate be used for injuries?
Actually, they use it a lot in physical therapy environments, and a lot of professional athletes use it for injury prevention and also injury repair, because it improves your circulation so much. Your body repairs faster, the better circulation is.
So what is the ROM and what does it do?
The ROM is stands for range of motion. It was built in Orange County, California. It takes the place of about 5 or 6 different pieces of equipment, which is nice because it doesn't take up a lot of space. It's like a rowing machine on the front, except unlike a rowing machine, which basically works just your flexors, then it recoils for you, then you pull it and it recoils, and pull it and recoils. This you got to pull it and push it. And so you're pushing both flexors and extensors at the same time. That means you're pushing and pulling both. And it'll work about 80% of your upper body muscle mass all at one time, which is a tremendous thing for saving time, because you can work a lot of muscle very quickly. It works on the principle of high intensity interval training, or HIIT, which is something that high-end athletes have used for years. We know it works, however, for the normal person, it's very difficult to do it, because it's always been like running wind sprints, running upstairs. There's a lot of people that can't do that anymore. But I got an 86-year-old lady who can get on this ROM and get a pretty good workout in 4 minutes. And she just slows it down a little bit, that's all. And the back of it is like a very high-intensive, very long-range stair climber is what it is. And it works a lot more muscles because of the extended range of the machine.
What is the Vortex and how do you use it?
The Vortex is a little more conventional piece of equipment compared to the rest of the stuff we have in here. It works on a pulley system. So all these different things are hooked into this one stack of 250 pounds that you can work at different angles. So it's got a lot of different angles. It's very similar to it's kind of a high-end cable crossover machine. The other side, of course, with another stack here, you can work in conjunction with each other. You can do a lot of different exercises. We just use it to supplement the other equipment that we have in here.
What is the purpose of the unweighting system over the treadmill used for?
The weighting system over the treadmill, this is the first thing that attracted me to a lot of this equipment. Treadmills, to me, are not particularly good pieces of equipment as far as just exercising on. Because most people, when they get on a treadmill, you notice almost all treadmills have handles on them. They get a hold of those handles and they walk the treadmill because they're afraid of falling on the treadmill, which is a very good fear because the things are made out of steel. But by doing that, they mess up the synchronization between their upper body and their lower body. This unweighting system allows them to swing their arms freely to get the bilateral movement they need for coordinated walking. That's what I use it for. I can also have young athletes go on this. It actually picks up their that extra half step they need for their athletic endeavors. So they can run sideways, they can run backwards, they can do high-speed turns on it. For older people, it's wonderful for them to regain their balance and to retrain those muscles that allow them to go sideways and backwards, will prevent them from falling down, which is very important for older people, because once they start falling down, that's when all the problems really start.
What is the Total Gym and how do you use it?
Okay, Total Gym is very similar to a Pilates reformer. except that it works on the principle of gravity instead of springs like a reformer does. It's also not inside of a box. But it's a roller. It rolls up and down, goes up and down. It's probably one of the most misunderstood pieces of equipment on the market. It's a fabulous piece of equipment. You see all the infomercials with Chuck Norris and Chrissy somebody. But it works real good for arm exercises and for abdominal exercises, a few leg exercises. Just like all the other equipment, it does a few things real good. That's why we've got a lot of different equipment, because they all do something real good. This does arms and legs very good because it supports your back as you're doing it, just like a Pilates reformer does.
So how does a session using all this equipment differ from a larger fitness facility?
Well, the biggest difference is, first off, it's our size and the equipment. When you're exercising, the biggest thing that I've seen with big gyms, and I've been a trainer for a long time, is that people kind of get in ruts. They do the same exercises over and over again. And in a big gym, that's a natural thing to do because there's just so much equipment available to everybody. It's a little bit crowded here. When you're here with a personal trainer, the equipment is for your use only. You don't have to wait for anybody. We have tremendous variation, so a typical session here is not really typical. It might be specifically for you for a while, but we try and vary your workouts because your body responds better to variation. So one day you're going to use the front of the ROM, the next day you're going to use the back of the ROM, you're going to use the power plate to warm up, to stretch with, you're going to use the Vortex sometimes, you're going to use the Total Gym sometimes, you use the BOSA balls, the bars, the medicine balls. There's a lot of different equipment here, and each trainer understands your needs, and then you can request things too, which is kind of nice. I mean, you can say, hey, I'd like to try and learn how to use that piece of equipment, and the trainer can help you use that piece of equipment. And you get that variation, you get the progress with your own specific body abilities for you.
Do you and your trainers all do the same programs?
I'd like to say we all did, but that's impossible. Obviously, I do completely different exercises because of my athletic background. Jason's got a different athletic background. Rich has got a different athletic background. We all three have tremendous experience. We all work with each other, but we all do completely different things. I kind of laugh when clients say, well, I can get a personal trainer for X amount of dollars, and I said, well, you're getting 3 of them for less money than you would pay anyplace else, because we're just doing 30-minute sessions and making it worth about an hour and 20 minutes.
How long has this equipment been used, and who else uses it?
The power plates themselves have been used for, I think they were developed in the late 60s actually originally, and then it became popular in the mid-90s as far as the public using them. Just about every professional football, basketball, hockey team, baseball players in the world, they all understand the power plate. It's interesting how that most of them have used it for rehabilitation. It hasn't yet, I don't think anybody's really caught on to the fact that it builds such tremendous strength very quickly. It does build fast twitch muscle, so a lot of golfers use it too. It's tremendously beneficial for golfers. So it's been used by a lot of different media for about the last 10 years effectively. I think I've been using it now for about 6 years. I would never use anything else. I think it's several times more effective than what I've ever done before. And I've lifted weights since I was 19 years old. I think it's just it's more functional piece of equipment.
In summary, what is the purpose for using this equipment, and what are the advantages?
The big advantage is time, because as we all know, there's 3 major reasons why people don't exercise. First off, they don't have time. They're too busy. They can't afford it. They don't like it. It's just uncomfortable for them. So to me, if I can cut out the first thing of time, just cut down to 30-minute sessions, because we all know we need to do it. Cut out the cost by doing 30-minute sessions. I can cut my costs down a little bit as far as paying my trainers go. As far as not liking it, that may never change. However, the more functional you can make it, the more efficient you can make it, the easier it is to put up with it, I guess you might say. I just understand that exercise is important and we need to do it, so let's make it as efficient, painless, and functional as we possibly can.